Hey witches, how you doing today? Welcome back to the channel. It's nice to see you again. It's been a while. Today I want to talk a little bit about Beltane. So Beltane happens April 30th, May 1st. And the reason there's sometimes a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a discrepancy with the date, is because the ancient Celts, actually their new day started at sundown. So on April 30th, when the sun went down, that was the beginning of May 1st. And May 1st would go all through the night, all through the day, until the sun set on May 1st. So they marked their days a little bit differently. So it kind of starts the night of April 30th and goes during the day of May 1st. Beltane is also known as May Day, Bealtaine, or Walpurgis Night. And it was the Celtic start of the summer. It was one of their ancient fire festivals. There's 4 in the year, which typically kick off their new season. So it was the Celtic start of summer. Now there's a ton of folklore surrounding Beltane. Ton of it. It's an ancient celebration. A lot of what I'm going to share with you is from Liber Nox, Traditional Witches Grammary by Michael Howard. I highly recommend this book. It has got just a wealth of information, and he gets into so much more than I can possibly cover in a quick video. But let's share some of it. All right, so one of the things that happens on Beltane is children go out early in the morning to collect flowers and put them in baskets to set on the porches of friends and neighbors, which is thought to be a bit of a callback to leaving offerings out for the fae. There's another one I want to read to you directly from this book. It says, in parts of England and also in Scotland, men would gather early Beltane morning and dig a large circular trench with a raised area in the middle. They would bring ale, beer, and a somewhat custard-like oat dish called caudle, and they would celebrate Beltane. The drinks were passed around and the caudle was eaten. The caudle had these knob-like protuberances that were pulled off and thrown over the shoulder while making a wish, such as, may the crows stay far from my corn. According to some scholars, partaking of the caudle originally had a far more serious meaning. One piece of it was secretly marked with charcoal, and the person choosing it thereby became the devoted one, the scapegoat, or the ceremonial victim of the Belfire, giving his life in sacrifice to the gods that the rest of the tribe might prosper. Ceremonially. They weren't like sacrificing people, but ceremonially he would, become the scapegoat for the following year. So it's kind of interesting, right? It was said that young maidens would go out early in the morning and wash their faces with the dew of the morning to ensure a beautiful complexion for the year to come. And it was also said that then the first man that they would meet thereafter would be the man that they were going to marry. Lots and lots about lighting of bonfires. So they would light bonfires on special hills around their towns to ward off evil spirits. Sometimes they would light twin fires, and they would drive their herds between them to protect the animals from disease and increase their milk yield. So typically it was cattle, right? That was their main herding crop, their main herding animals. So to protect them from disease and increase their milk yield. In Southern Ireland, there were farming communities that make cows leap over burning straw to stop their milk from being stolen by witches or the fair folk. It was also believed Beltane was the night that the fair folk moved house from hollow hill to hollow hill. And so the people would employ charms of rowan twigs tied with red thread to protect themselves and their livestock. As Walpurgis Night, it is the night that the witches would gather for their Sabbath on holy mountains such as the Brocken. And very often, especially in tradcraft, you will see people doing, flying out, hedge crossing to the other world to go to the Brocken and celebrate at the witches' Sabbath. After the Beltane fires had burned down, pregnant women would leap over the burning coals to ensure good and healthy babies. So you can see these fires were very, very important to Beltane. It is a fire festival, so it was very much about having these fires and all of the protection and good luck and good things that these fires would bring for the coming year. So the fires were lit by 9 men who had removed all metal from their person, from their clothing, and they would go out and collect 9 different types of wood, and then they would light the fire by either striking together 2 flint stones or rubbing 2 oak twigs together. So they would do it like in a traditional sort of way they would light that fire. And this is really interesting because in the Scottish Isles, they added the hallucinogenic fly agaric fungi. They would collect it, dry it out, and use it as kindling in their balefires. So that's really interesting. And of course, Beltane has some very lusty implications to it, more so in these sort of fertility cults, the fertility traditions, which tradcraft tends to be more of a mystery tradition. So we tend to work more with the fires and the flying out Walpurgis knot, that kind of thing. But there are these sort of lusty implications, and it was considered a night of revelry. And the young people would go out collecting flowers in the woods, which was really just a euphemism for going out and cavorting in the bushes with their chosen partners. They were collecting flowers for the maypole, to decorate the maypole the next day, is what they said. And often coming from these liaisons would be what they called greenwood marriages that would last a year and a day until the next year at Beltane. They were celebrating the Lord of the green world and the wildwood with the maypole, which is like a notably phallic symbol, right? And they'll wrap it with the ribbons. And often women would touch the maypole for good luck. So kind of all sorts of interesting traditions around Beltane, very old traditions. So what are some activities that we can kind of pull as trad witches to, right, create our own Beltane celebration? So obviously there's the maypole. Even if you're on your own, you can always wrap a maypole. You can do flower crowns. Great time for pressing and drying flowers. You decorate with fresh flowers and colored ribbons. A great one is just getting up to greet the sunrise, washing in that first dew of the morning, leaving offerings out for the fae, and then having bonfires, especially, and then leaping the bonfire or creating a couple of fires and passing between them for protection, for good luck for the coming year, and just lots of feasting and drinking and spending time with friends and family in celebration. So Beltane is, it's a fun festival. There's a lot of sort of different ways that you can take it and celebrate it. And I hope that gives you just a few ideas with a bit of folklore and a few activity ideas. So I'd like to know, what do you do for Beltane? What are your what are the activities that you kind of participate around in this time of the year? I'd love to know. Share it in a comment. And otherwise, that is our video for today. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much, guys.